Harihi Om, my dear holy souls. This is Mata Anantananda Sri Sadguru Shivarama Avadhuta Ashramam, Kamvaram village, Kurnool district, Andhra Pradesh state from Bharat, that is India. Under the caption of Wonderful Indian Folk Stories, we are enjoying the wonderful and adventurous stories of Bhatti and Vikramaditya, the historical personalities of ancient India. In that series of videos, this is 42nd one. This is the story of Anamati. This is the 16th story told by Bhetal to Vikramaditya. Main incidents in this story are: there was a city by name Avinasi. There was a Brahmin man, Devanatha. His son was Arjunaswami. His newly wed wife was Anamati. A demon had taken her away, and Arjunaswami met the death due to fate. The outcoming skills from this story are: without the study of an issue in deep, we should not deliver opinions by misusing the tongue. If we do such, life will turn into big dangers and we may affect to great sins. Hence, we should not overtalk. This story stamps this moral strongly on our minds. Okay, let us enjoy this story. These stories are told by Madanabhishekavalli, the second idol and the golden throne to Bhoja Maharaja. We must remind this. And among that, these are the series of stories telling by Bhetal to Vikramaditya. Bhetala called on Vikramaditya and told that to follow the story carefully. Then he was continuing. There was a city by name Avinasi. In that city, there was a Brahmin man, Devanatha. He was a great scholar and righteousness man, and very nice, kind to others. For a long time, he had no children, but after devotion to God Shiva, he had a male child. He kept the name Arjunaswami and made him to learn all these astras and pet him like anything and loved him like anything. When he reached the right age, Devanatha had searched surrounding all the villages and got a right match. The bride was Anamati. She was very matched to Arjunaswami, very beautiful girl and very nice natured girl, good natured and hardworking nature also. The new couple was very enjoying the life. All the people were praising them. They were like moon and the moonlight like that, and the flower and the smell like that. They were together, and Anamati was serving to the family, to the elders with the respects and loving the husband like anything. One day, because it was hot sun, the summer days, that's why they slept on the terrace of the building for the cool breeze. Then they made their bed there and they enjoyed for some time with each other's company and they slept. After midnight, it was happened, there was a demon flying over that terrace. He had watched beneath. Then when he saw Anamati for her beauty, he felt very mesmerized. Because he was a demon, no righteousness behavior like that. That's why he had stolen her and taken her away. In the morning, when Arjunaswami woke up, his searched wife was not there, but he thought it was natural because she would be little bit early to him, and she would mingle to the houseworks like that. That's why he thought like that, and he left on his works. After some time in the house, everybody had observed that Anamati was missing. They searched here and there, and parents had asked Arjunaswami, "Do you quarrel with each other?" Arjunaswami said, "No, we were enjoying each other." And they searched wells and ponds like that also. She might accidentally or wantedly she had fallen like that, they thought. And they searched in the in her parents' house also and in other relatives' house and temples and all surrounding places, but in vain. They could not find her anywhere. Then Arjun Swami felt very sad and very bad. And then he started to search for her. And he wandered all the places. And he started towards the north. And he searched here and there and here, in this village and that village, like that. 1 year was passed. Then by that time he had reached North India, North Bharat. Then he thought with a little bit hope. It was happened 1 year. Might be by this time Anamati had reached the house. It might be happened like that. He thought like that, and then he started to south to reach his house. On the way, he felt very hunger because he was a Brahmin young man. Then he had gone to Brahmin's colony and asked for food in front of a Brahmin's house. By that time, that Brahmin house man, he was on the stone bench in front of his house and studying some Hindu sastras like that, sciences like that. Then he called on his wife and ordered her to give food to that guest. And she felt happy, and she asked him come to have lunch, and she was got ready to serve him. Then Arjun Swami told her, "Oh mother, I didn't complete my performance of puja, daily puja like that. That's why please give the food in a bamboo basket after getting bath in the pond like that." Then she happily she had given served all the rice, dal, curries and ghee in a small mud vessel and buttermilk in another vessel, and she kept it in a bamboo basket, a small basket, and she covered it with another leaf of banana, and she had given it to him. With thankfulness, he expressed his gratitude to them and had taken the basket, and he kept it under a tree, under the shade of a tree on the bank of a pond. And then Arjun Swami had taken bath in the pond, and he had performed his Sandhya Vandanam, the devotion to God Surya, God Sun like that. And then he returned back. By that time, due to the wind, the covered banana leaf had gone away, torn off. And he happily he ate the food. But what happened in the meantime, on that tree, banyan tree it was, an eagle had hunted a snake, and it was it had kept the snake on the branch just above the lunch basket of Arjun Swami, and started to eat the snake by tearing it. And then due to the pain of death, that snake had vomited the poison. The poison almost all had fallen on the lunch, the materials, rice, dal, curries, and like that. It was fallen on that. Without notice of this poison, Arjun Swami had ate all the food due to hunger. Then immediately he fell down and died. By concluding the story like this, Betala asked the question to Vikramaditya, "Oh Emperor, now let me have the answer. Being known, if you not give the answer, your head will break into 1,000 pieces. If you break the silence, I won't get subject to you. You know the condition. Now, listen my question. Because of the poison of the snake, the Brahmin young man, Arjuna Swami, had died. Is it suicide sin? It goes to him, or is it Brahmahatya sin? Is it goes to the Brahmin houseman who had ordered his wife to donate the food to Arjun Swami, or it goes to the housewife of Brahmin lady, Brahmani, who had given the food by keeping it in a bamboo basket, or else whether it goes to eagle which hunted the snake, or whether it goes to snake which had omitted the poison into the food of Arjun Swami? Let me have the answer. Then Vikramaditya, with a beautiful smile on his face, said, First of all, Bhetal, I'm thankful to you. I enjoyed the story with a real twist. But the answer is little bit complex and special also. Because the Brahmin young man, Arjun Swami, due to hunger, he asked for food. It is right. It is according to Dharma. And the Brahmin couple also, they had donated the food. And the Brahmani, she had given the food in a bamboo basket as per the request of Arjun Swami, who wanted to perform his devotion like that. So they were also done the righteousness. There was nothing wrong in them. And due to hunger, as nature had given the food as snakes to eagle, snake had hunted and the eagle had hunted a snake and got it and kept it on the branch of the bamboo banyan tree. It is also correct. And due to the death pain, the snake had omitted the poison. It is not meant to mix its poison in the food of Arjun Swami. So the sin is not of the snake even. Then to whom this sin will go, whoever deliver the opinion as the sin of Brahmahatya goes to eagle or snake or Brahmin or Brahmani or Arjun Swami like that, without studying the case deeply, the sin goes to them. That's why elders say that we should not use the tongue without thinking, and we must use the tongue as less as possible. Otherwise, such dangers like this will happen. The sin of Brahmahatya will go to them. Such is my opinion. By hearing such answer from Vikramaditya, Betala with clapping hands disappeared from there and again reached the fire tree of the forest. Again, Vikramaditya reached there and climbed up the fire tree of the forest and brought down the corpus in which Betala was lying and kept it on the shoulder. And once again he started towards the Brihadaranya. What will be the next story of the Betal? Let us enjoy in the coming up video. Harihi Om. Thank you for watching.